Imagine a vast expanse of sparkling turquoise water dotted with emerald green islands. This was the Pacific Ocean, home to diverse cultures long before European ships arrived. These islands, scattered across the sea like precious jewels, held societies with a deep respect for nature and a unique understanding of gender and sexuality. Gender was not a rigid box, it was a spectrum, a flowing river where individuals could find their place, their truth. These island societies, from the volcanic peaks of Hawaii to the coral atolls of Micronesia, were havens of cultural richness. They were places where the natural world and the spiritual realm were intertwined. This connection to the land and the spirits influenced their views on gender and sexuality, creating a space where individuals who did not fit into European norms were not just accepted, but celebrated. They were seen as integral members of their communities, their unique perspectives valued and honored. Before the arrival of Western explorers, many Pacific Island cultures embraced fluidity in gender identity and sexual orientation. These cultures understood that true strength lay in diversity, in the acceptance and celebration of all individuals regardless of their gender identity or sexual orientation. In the Pacific Islands, the Western concept of a strict gender binary, with its rigid roles and expectations, was largely absent. Instead, many cultures recognized and embraced a spectrum of gender identities and expressions. Individuals who identified and lived outside the Western binary were not ostracized or marginalized. They were integrated into the social fabric, their unique roles and contributions recognized and valued. For example, in Hawaii, individuals who embodied both masculine and feminine traits were known as mahu. They occupied a unique and respected space within society, often taking on roles as healers, teachers and spiritual advisors. In Samoa, the fa'afafine, individuals assigned male at birth but who identify and live as female have long been recognized and accepted. Often they were raised as girls from a young age, taking on roles traditionally associated with women. The Philippines, too, had its own traditions of gender fluidity. The babaylan, often women or feminine-presenting individuals, were spiritual leaders, healers, and shamans. Across the Pacific, the fluidity of gender extended beyond the realm of the everyday. It was deeply intertwined with spirituality, with these diverse identities often playing integral roles in religious practices and beliefs. These individuals were not merely accepted, they were revered, their unique perspectives seen as bridges to the divine. In many island cultures, those who existed outside the Western binary were believed to possess a special connection to the spirit world. They were the keepers of ancient knowledge, the conduits through which the gods spoke. The Mahu of Hawaii, for example, were often sought out for their spiritual guidance. Similarly, the babaylan of the Philippines played a vital role in their community's spiritual life. They were the intermediaries between the physical and spiritual realms, conducting rituals, offering sacrifices, and communicating with the spirits. This intersection of gender and spirituality highlights the holistic worldview of many Pacific Island cultures. The acceptance of diverse gender identities in pre-colonial Pacific Island societies challenges the modern Western notion of a strict gender binary. These cultures demonstrate that gender is not simply a matter of biology, but a complex interplay of social, cultural, and spiritual factors. Their stories offer a glimpse into a world where gender is not a rigid box, but a spectrum, a fluid expression of self that is celebrated and embraced. The Western binary, with its strict division of male and female, was largely alien to these societies. They recognized that gender was not a binary, but a continuum, with individuals able to move freely between masculine and feminine expressions, or embody both simultaneously. This fluidity was not seen as a threat to social order, but as a natural part of the human experience. These cultures understood that gender roles and expressions were not fixed, but could vary depending on an individual's talents, inclinations, and spiritual calling. Section 5. The Mahu of Hawaii, bridging worlds with grace. In the heart of the Pacific Ocean, the Hawaiian Islands were home to a vibrant culture that embraced gender diversity. Central to this acceptance were the Mahu, individuals who embodied both masculine and feminine traits. Revered for their wisdom and spiritual insight, the Mahu played a vital role in Hawaiian society, bridging the realms of male and female, human and divine. The word Mahu itself reflects a deep understanding of gender fluidity. It can be translated as in the middle, acknowledging the existence of a space beyond the binary. Mahu were not seen as merely men who dressed as women or women who acted like men. They were a distinct gender, embodying the fullness of both masculine and feminine energies. Traditionally, Mahu often served as healers, teachers, and spiritual advisors. Their ability to navigate both masculine and feminine perspectives gave them a unique understanding of the human experience, making them valuable guides and mentors. Section 6. Fa'afafine of Samoa, embracing the third gender. In the Samoan archipelago, known for its lush rainforests and vibrant culture, the Fa'afafine have long held a unique and respected place in society. Often described as the third gender, the Fa'afafine are individuals assigned male at birth who live and express themselves as female. Their presence challenges Western notions of gender, offering a glimpse into a culture that embraces diversity and celebrates the fluidity of human identity. The term Fa'afafine translates to "in the manner of a woman," reflecting the social role and gender expression of these individuals. However, it's important to note that Fa'afafine do not simply identify as women. They occupy a distinct gender category within Samoan culture, one that exists outside the Western binary of male and female. Far from being ostracized or marginalized, Fa'afafine are generally accepted within Samoan society. They are often seen as integral members of their families and communities, contributing their unique skills and perspectives to the social fabric. Section 7. The strength of the babaylan, Filipina shamans and spiritual leaders. In the Philippines, an archipelago of over 7,000 islands, ancient traditions recognize the power and significance of the babaylan. These spiritual leaders, often women or feminine-presenting individuals, held a place of honor in pre-colonial society. Their deep connection to the spirit world, their ability to heal, and their role as cultural custodians made them essential figures in their communities. The term babaylan encompasses a range of spiritual roles, including shamans, healers, diviners, and ritual specialists. They were believed to possess a unique ability to communicate with spirits, both benevolent and malevolent. Through rituals, offerings, and trance states, they sought guidance from the spirit world, interceded on behalf of their communities, and ensured harmony between the physical and spiritual realms. The babaylan were not only spiritual guides, but also keepers of knowledge. They possessed a deep understanding of herbal medicine, traditional healing practices, and the natural world. Section 8. Colonization's shadow, suppression and resilience. The arrival of European colonizers in the Pacific brought with it a wave of cultural and religious intolerance. The colonizers, with their rigid views on gender and sexuality, sought to impose their own beliefs and practices on the indigenous populations. This cultural clash had a profound impact on the acceptance of diverse gender identities, leading to the suppression of traditions that had flourished for centuries. Despite the immense pressure to conform, the resilience of these cultures and their enduring belief in the fluidity of gender identity could not be entirely extinguished. Many continued to practice their traditions in secret, passing down their knowledge through generations, ensuring that these ancient understandings would not be lost. Section 9. Reclaiming Our Roots, a Legacy Rekindled. The post-colonial era in the Pacific has been marked by a resurgence of interest in traditional cultures and identities. As island nations gained independence and began to reclaim their narratives, the stories of the Mahu, Fa'afafine, babaylan, and other gender-diverse individuals have re-emerged from the shadows of colonial suppression. This cultural revival is not simply about nostalgia. It's about reclaiming a legacy of inclusivity, and celebrating the richness of indigenous understandings of gender and sexuality. Across the Pacific, activists, artists, scholars and community leaders are working tirelessly to raise awareness about their ancestors' acceptance of gender diversity. They are challenging the colonial narratives that sought to erase these identities, reclaiming their rightful place within their cultures. Traditional dance and music are being revitalized, with a renewed focus on the roles of gender-diverse individuals in these art forms. Contemporary artists are incorporating themes of gender fluidity and LGBTQ+ rights into their work, sparking conversations and challenging societal norms. Section 10. Celebrating diversity. Lessons from the past, hope for the future. The stories of the Pacific Islands offer a powerful lesson in inclusivity and the celebration of human diversity. These cultures, with their long history of embracing gender fluidity, remind us that the Western binary is not the only way to understand gender, and that true strength lies in embracing the full spectrum of human expression. The Mahu of Hawaii, the Fa'afafine of Samoa, the babaylan of the Philippines, they all stand as powerful reminders that societies can thrive when they recognize and value the contributions of all their members, regardless of their gender identity or sexual orientation. In a world grappling with issues of gender identity and LGBTQ+ rights, the Pacific Islands offer a beacon of hope. Their ancient traditions provide a roadmap for a more inclusive and compassionate future. One where gender is not a cage but a spectrum, a fluid expression of self that is celebrated and embraced.